Hello guys, welcome back to the MMA Soccer channel. My name is Frazer Krohn. I'm joined by Tim Wheaton, and yet again we're joined by Melissa No Mess Mullins Dixon, who fights in April the 7th, I believe, for the vacant era's bantamweight title. Melissa, how are things?
Going well. I'm pretty excited for this one. Obviously the last couple of weeks leading into it is a bit crap. Um, I've got skinnier from my last one, interview with you guys, and that's because the weight's coming down. And such things as sugar-free drinks are like a massive staple right now. But other than that, very good. Training is hitting it off, and apart from the low energy, I feel very good.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say the last time we spoke, you were so light and cheery and happy to see us, and now you can tell that you're midway through a weight cut. How's the weight cut feeling?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I cut a lot of weight. I don't know if you guys know from my previous cut, I was 70 point something, 10 days out from my last weigh-ins. And this time is championship weight. So at the moment, I'm 70.4 as of this morning, which is a bit further out, but the weight's been stuck at 70 for a few days. So it started to hit that plateau. And now it's kind of you have to drop your calories that little bit more, work that little bit harder, but what's going in and what's going out aren't balancing. So it's a tough sort of situation at the moment. But everyone does it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I listened to an interview that you did after your last fight, and you said you were, a little bit disappointed with how that one went. You felt a little bit sort of flat. I mean, you got the first round TKO finish, so I mean, I think you're being slightly hard on yourself. But do you think that the weight cut had anything to do with that in the last fight, or is that just kind of the way that you and your opponent kind of matched up on the night?
I don't believe the weight cut had a play in this. I mean, it could do, but my weight cuts are always big, so I couldn't say conclusively that that was a reason. Um, I do think Daria was more of an elite striker in the case of her striking countered my striking very, very well. And I wasn't able to come across as the better striker, although I think I've got good striking. Um, in this fight, I don't think that that's going to be the situation. I think my striking is going to be more elite, and in training right now, it feels so sharp. So, I'm praying I'm going to be able to put on a display and basically knock her out. That's the plan.
This is awesome. She seems like she's a very well-rounded fighter, everything from submissions to TKO. Give me the exact prediction. How do you envision the fight going in a perfect world?
Perfect world. Ideally, round two, get round one out of the way, feel her out. Round two, let her know like who's sort of dominant in that cage in all areas. Like I don't see her being dominant more so than me in any other area apart from her age. Her age is more dominant than mine. Um, I'm not gonna hunt for the finish. However, if it's there and it should be there, it's gonna come naturally. I plan for it to happen hopefully in round two, but who knows? It might go in round one.
And you still, as you were kind of alluding to there, you feel that you're better everywhere. On the ground, on the feet. You are, like you say, you want to kind of have that first round to feel out because I watched your fight, your last fight this morning again. There wasn't any feeling out process in that one. It was okay, Belgo, two women meet in the middle. It,
Yeah.
just fight and just have a fight. And it was, I mean, maybe from our perspective, it was only what four, right, pretty much five minutes with it, 4:59. It was entertaining for us, maybe not so much for you. So is that kind of the way you want this one to go? Because I also watched your opponent's fight this morning as well, and her fight, there was a small feeling out process for the first sort of 20 seconds, and then she managed to corral her opponent against the cage and shoot for the takedown. Is that kind of how you see this one going? Do you think she'll try and take you down, or because because you showed such dominance on the floor last time, do you think she's going to try and stand with you?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, it depends on her grip. Like, I plan to be the one that engages and like takes center stage first. I plan to let her know how my hands notoriously have been in my amateur career and through the three TKOs that I've like got. Like, I'm a powerful female for my weight category. If she doesn't like my hands, she's obviously gonna try to take me down. That would be the intelligent thing. But my no-gi game and my grappling and my wrestling, like, smash most men in our club out of the water. Like, it's one of my most natural traits. Like, that came across in my Risling fight. She's a two-time Olympian like athlete, and I was able to nullify her judo. Mafalda, she says she's all round currently in PFL now. She says she's a dominant person on the floor. However, she had no answers apart from being like a super fidgety female on the floor. My IMAF experiences, most of them finished on the ground. Like, as much as I say I'm a striker, my record would tell that I'm actually more of a grappler.
Gotcha. And I think that makes a lot of sense based on what we've seen as well. But I think, let me ask you, what does it mean for in this bout? You're going in undefeated. You're fighting for a vacant title. Let's say you get the belt around your waist. What does this represent to you? What does that feel like to you? After all this work, all the crappy weight cuts, what does having that belt around your waist mean to you?
For me, this is probably, I keep saying it, my biggest fight in my career. It's like the pinnacle of all of my fights so far. As a 5-0 fighter, and her being 12-5, she's also been on The Ultimate Fighter. She didn't get selected. Dana White contenders, no. Yeah, Tough. She's been on Tough. Like, her caliber, her record, she's my best opponent yet to be on paper. Technically, she might not look great, but who's to say that on the night, what's to happen? She could knock me out, you know? It could be a tough, gritty fight, and I'm prepared for that. For me to take home the Ares bout would be such an achievement within my career. I would feel very proud. It would sit on top of all of the other trophies and belts that we have currently at our gym. I'm praying that if this fight happens, like, the situation of the entourage of the win is going to take me into what I want to be the UFC. And if that happens, like, this is going to be the sort of pinnacle fight that allows that. And for me, that'll mean more.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I think if like you say, it all goes to plan, you become the champion, you progress to 6-0, hopefully, like you say, with a TKO, or, I mean, I'm sure you take a submission if she gives it to you. It's going to be hard to deny you that sort of opportunity, at least, you know, even like you say, you know, she competed on the Contender Series or in Tough. It'd be hard to deny you that opportunity if you get a win over a veteran like herself. But, you know, going back to the fight itself, am I right? I think it's the first time you competed over 5 rounds.
Yeah, it's my first 5-round fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that, you know, is the training, obviously you are trained. I've seen that you've gone over to All Stars. I'm getting my timelines mixed up whether you've gone over to Paris in this camp or if that was last camp. But yeah, so how is the training? You know, it's notorious, like you say, it's difficult to get bodies at the kind of weight that you want them, and maybe at the style that you kind of want them.
Yeah.
How is training gone, and how is it maybe slightly different because you are training for that 5 rounds now?
For me, training generally structurally hasn't changed. If anything, I'm probably actually training less, just because then the sessions that I'm doing currently are more quality. Literally the saying quality over quantity is sort of how I've approached this situation. And in sparring, like, I feel that that's really coming across, that my striking has, for me, leveled up. And if it wasn't already where it was in my brain, at least it's leveled up. Like, it's given me that confidence back. I feel that I went into a bit of a pit with myself and my striking prior to Daria's fight, because I believed I was a better striker. And although I won, it definitely played a sort of mind game in my testing of myself and my abilities. But yeah, structure and sort of training generally hasn't changed. Our training is quite serious and quite strong. We train for example, in sparring, we start at 8 for sparring, and then we do about half an hour technique, and then it's a full hour of specific sparring and rounds. So sometimes we do 9-3s, sometimes we do like 9-5s, with like short breaks. And this is all post a class that we've done before, and then my morning training. So I think I'm pretty ready for it, to be fair.
Sheesh, it's a ton of training you're doing out there. It is just unbelievable, and we're excited to see your developments. But I saw you were at a grappling competition. Is grappling in the gi or maybe a no gi competition something that you want to do in the future?
I have been offered loads of them, but because of the contract doesn't allow you to fight within a certain period, I have to keep declining them. However, I'm currently debating, just based on how this weight cut goes, to enter a Grand Prix with Empire Grappling. They've invited me to one. That's a no-gi black brown belt rule set. And I really want to do it. It's just, obviously, it's not good to get down to under 70 kilos twice when your body's already a little bit sausaged from the first time.
Yeah, and it really depends on like taking that risk in a grappling competition. It's a very cool medal to have, but in terms of career trajectory, it's like, maybe, you know what I mean, of just like, it's not as good as winning in a fight in the cage, but it's a very cool thing to have, right?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I enjoy grappling as long as it's no-gi. I enjoy it. He's a lot harder because it's a little bit slower, and you get held in notorious positions that are really quite difficult to get out of. Maybe after I retire, whenever that might be, then I'll take it down the no-gi path. I'm a 31-year-old female with many injuries already, so, and they're all from MMA. Like, I've been a sporty person most of my life, and I've only ever picked up injuries since I've started this sport. So maybe no, absolutely just abuse my body, and then I'll be retired in a wheelchair soon.
Fingers crossed that doesn't happen too soon, because we've got, like you say, like so best case scenario, we go in there on April 7th, isn't it? In Paris, yeah. So we go in there, we pick up the belt. You'll be one of, off the top of my head, probably the best known female to be holding a belt in MMA from the UK. But we've also got, this weekend, we've got Dakota Ditchever back in there in the co-main event. We saw, I mean, she might not have been born here, but she resides here. We're claiming Veronica Hardy as British. And I saw Lexi Rook picked up her first professional win a few weeks ago. So what do you think? How significant do you think your win will be for, you know, female mixed martial arts in the UK? Because we haven't had a rich history of, you know, top level females. But I mean, almost in the past sort of 2 or 3 years, it's really taken off, and it's only, you know, we're only on an upward trajectory at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna sound really maybe rude in a sense, but I feel like I'm the underdog. I feel like I'm the most overlooked female within the UK. I don't think, because my presence somehow isn't up there. It isn't like a Dakota Ditchever or a Lexi Rook, and I don't know why, because my records speak for themselves, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I think after this win, I can't not be noticed, you know.
No, exactly.
But even like Veronica, for example, I think she's overlooked as a female just because she's had sort of that hiatus in the UFC. But she's so sick. Like, I hope that after this fight, I'm seen as a prospect that is due to be in the UFC. Because I mean, PFL is a second option, but I want the UFC. That's my goal. That's my aim, and that's where I want to be after this area's contract or before.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would be hard to deny, like I say, you know, 6-0 with, you know, hopefully another finish. It's and now, you know, maybe that validation of having, you know, like you say, you may be not the most pushed girl in the UK, which I can't understand why. Like you say, you've got the fights, you've got the, you know, you clearly, you know, you're clearly a good talker. Maybe it's because you're from where you're from. You don't train out of a huge team, you know. Here in Coventry, it's not. We haven't, you know, Lions isn't a massive massive gym. It's certainly a well-known gym, but obviously with Dakota at Manchester top team, and with Lexi, I think is a Renegade in Birmingham now. Maybe it's a Coventry thing. Maybe we just have to get Coventry on the map a little bit more, which I'm happy to try and do. I'm more than happy to try and do that. But with that belt wrapped around your waist, I think it's going to be hard to deny you that the sort of eyes on you.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Like, Lions Gym is upcoming. We've got one of the best gym records within the West Midlands. Like it if you look at the records of the people that currently fight around the West Midlands and put all their records together and then our records together, we're a very elite gym. We're just small and unseen, So yeah, hopefully after this fight, not only will I put my own name up there, but I'll put my gym's name up there and people will see what's real,
Absolutely. Well, this is the track to the UFC. We've always said it. You interview with us, you win a belt, and then you get interviewed by Dan Hardy, and then you're in the UFC. That's I think everyone's natural trajectory, but it starts with us, as we always say. Dan Hardy was talking about you. I feel like that's the next after this fight. You got to be on his show, right?
Maybe. I mean, I was on his podcast post the Daria fight, and everyone believed that I was due the bonus. They even shouted that out on their podcast, but he's now with PFL, isn't he? He's their matchmaker, so I think he'll step away from the UFC side of things. And try and match me for PFL. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I hope, I pray, I say, I put it into sort of good positive mantras that I am due for the UFC, but who the hell knows?
Well, it's like I say, it's gonna be hard to deny you with a win here. And you mentioned a minute ago, you wanting to not only put your own name out there, but put the gym's name out there. But we spoke about it last time, and anyone that follows yourself and your husband's career, we know that your husband's still an avoided man. I know that he had a fight, and from what I understand, another person had to withdraw either through injury or just had to another three. So are we still in search of getting James a fight, or is he looking to get, is he matched?
We've tried to contact Ruby management. They said they had an email. They didn't get back to him. We've tried FCC. We had their contact. We sent them James's Tapology. They didn't get back to him. James from Battle Arena tried to match James up with a bum after Mush pulled out. That was actually the second offer. He got offered an Egyptian whose visa got some issue.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah. Just having to level up behind the scenes and then show it when someone finally steps up.
Yeah, exactly. He's the brains and the physicality behind like what I am produced as. Like, I started with him. I've been behind nobody else. So if they're looking at me, they need to look at him as well.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So he got the nickname the Lionheart. Very cool nickname. Very I get it. I get what that's going. You got the name No Mess Mullins. Where does the No Mess Mullins come from? Why didn't you get the cool name like Lionheart?
I don't particularly know why my name didn't develop to something a little bit more like wow. But it was just based on my first fight. Like, I'd come from nothing, no one, just stepped into our gym. I looked like a stiff, ploddy plank of wood. 2 years later, I got my first fight and I knocked her out within 16 seconds, I think it was said. I can't even remember. She just literally folded, and she was a kickboxing professional. And then I went backstage and they were like, no Mess Mullins. And it just stuck. And then I lost my 2 fights after that to decisions, which wasn't no Mess Mullins. But kind of stuck. I don't know. I guess it's like what's that thing called? Tongue twister. No, it's not. Just rhyming.
Yeah.
No Mess Mullins. But now I'm a Dixon. It doesn't really sound as good.
I think you're doing yourself a disservice, and I'm just checking your Tapology now. It's 14 seconds, not 16. So you're a lot better than you think you are already.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, Melissa Dixon. Now I've got a little bit older. It's kind of the route I'm taking, but no mess. I don't mind it. It's a bit cute.
And to be fair, it's unforgettable. No one else has a nickname like that. Like it's something that stuck with me. Even when, that's the fastest way to get to your page. I can look up Melissa Dixon and someone else will come up. No Mess Mullins. There's only one.
It's true. It is true. And I guess that's what you need. You need to be a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
For sure. So just kind of rounding off our conversation here with myself, obviously Tim and you, Melissa. From what I understand, it's co-main. Are you in the co-main event? Because it's changed. It's been main event. It's been co-main event. It's been main event. It's been co-main event.
I'm just looking here. Sorry if I can't. You can't see
Oh,
anything.
that's all right.
No, it's all right. It says on Tapology that you co-main, but I've seen it on Tapology before that your main event. I don't know. You know, I'm
I
sure that doesn't
believe
matter to you, but
I was main event, unless they've changed it, because that would be a little bit annoying because I've not been updated. Oh shit! Yeah, they've changed it.
yeah. So
So
on the Tapology website it says your co-main, but you know, like I say, that's been sort of changed.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
changed
quite
a
a
lot.
lot.
I haven't even been informed that. So Ivana, who was meant to be the co-main event, I did see some, what's it called? Propaganda that it was the
Hmm.
people's main event.
Yeah,
So I
for
don't
sure.
understand why that got changed without the notification of myself, and if Ivana knows, she hasn't messaged me, so I don't think she knows that she's now not co-main event.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, does that? I mean, you know, obviously, at the end of the day, whether you walk out last or whether you walk out sort of second last, it's you're still going in there to fight. But I imagine that doesn't change things for you on fight night.
no, I mean it was a little bit more exciting to be like main event, but now I've just found out it just means I get to go and drink some pop Coca-Cola or eat some crisps quicker.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, you know, like you say, it's going to be sort of they're going to have egg on their face when the co-main event is the people's main event, when you two put on a show and then you've got all the big hype and then the main event happens. So maybe that's why they sort of bummed you down the card slightly, because they want the crowd to be up and going for the main event.
I'll stick to that. When I knock her out and then they give me the £10,000 bonus for finish of the night, I'll be there eating my crisp at 9:30 in the morning on the plane home to the UK with my massive belt saying you should have put me as the main event.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, like I say, thanks for your time. And how I haven't warned Tim about this, but how I'm looking at it's kind of ending a lot of the kind of conversations we have with fighters. It's just asking one simple question at the end. It's just, why do you fight? What? Because you know it's a lot easier to get into in the UK, especially to get into, you know, a football team on a Sunday, or to get into, you know, I know you kind of did, what was it? Was it sort of street dancing or break dancing before
Yeah,
MMA? So now, like, you know, and like you say, you've had a lot of injuries. It's easy to kind of step away from the sport and get yourself a normal kind of 9 to 5 job that's easy on the bones, easy on the joints. But so why is it that you fight? Like what kind of, you know, why is it that you fight simply?
I question it every day, don't get me wrong. It is one of the hardest things to approach. Like you're killing yourself before you go in there and even compete, you know? I just enjoy the feeling of the fight. I enjoy being able to expel my caliber of skill that I've learned and picked up. And then just it's almost like showing off, I guess. Like, and if people don't say they don't like showing off, it's a lie, because you're in there in front of thousands and thousands of people trying to hurt someone else better than them trying to hurt you. So I think I just enjoy it. Like as simple as that is and as boring
Mm.
as that is,
No.
it's so fun to land something clean and seeing the effect of it, and then potentially following it up with devastating ground and pound or a dirty body kick. Like
We
it's
can
nice,
tell
it's
how,
fun.
yeah, we can tell how much you enjoy it, especially, you know, after your last win. I think it came as a slight shock to you because it looked like the referee stepped in and stopped the fight. Stopped the round, ended the round, and then you saw his hands wave, and that you could see the elation on your face then. So you can just tell how much you enjoy it, and you know, I hope that continues into. Is it Ares? Is it 14 this? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Ares 14. Yeah.
there is 14.
Yeah, I get there's too many events these days, you know, to keep across all different promotions. You got PFR 1, Ares 14, UFC 200 and something, you know, it's confusing for me. But you know, Ares 14, hopefully, you know, a dominant performance in the second round, like you kind of alluded to, we'll be bringing that belt home, not only to England but to Coventry specifically, to Lions Gym, popping at top of the cabinet, and best of luck in a couple of weeks when you go out to Paris, and really looking forward to watching it.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to doing it and smashing it, and then showing you guys the belt when I get home.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have you back on the show with that belt strapped around your waist come the end of next month. Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time. Best of luck in the match.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.